All right, we are finding the limit by direct substitution first. Gracious, we did a lot yesterday. So number 4 says the limit as x approaches -2 of x cubed minus x plus 5. So direct substitution means we just plug it in.
Oh, I like that.
So -2 cubed minus -2 plus 5 is equal to what?
No story.
Okay, literally -1.
One that's a little harder and requires you to have a little bit of memory of some stuff.
Yeah, okay, because they're not all gonna be like number 4.
The limit as x approaches pi of the ln of sine of x over 2. So this is the ln of the sine of pi over 2. What's the sine of pi over 2?
Ugh. I knew it. It's
It's not an axis.
yeah.
So what's the y value there?
0.
1. The y is 1.
1.
Well, yeah.
So the ln of 1 is what?
1.
Looks like we need a logarithm review. What base is this?
Base 10.
Base 10.
E.
Oh,
Yes, base e. It's a natural log. So, if I'm trying to solve this,
like
e to the what is equal to 1?
E.
Anything raised to what power is 1?
0.
0. That stuff minus the limit is on your exam, so
Once we go back over it, all like fine. But like it was just out of the blue, and I was like, I don't know.
All right, next ones. Explain why you cannot use substitution to find the limit,
I hate that.
and then find the limit algebraically if it exists. So the limit as x approaches 3 of x squared minus 9 over x squared plus 2x minus 15. So why can I not use substitution on this one?
Because the X is on the bottom. Wait, no.
Because you're dividing.
That was very dumb.
Because you'd have like a 0 on top.
Oh, yeah, you'd have a 0 on bottom. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the 0 on the bottom than the top, but yes. So
That's right.
there would be a 0 in the denominator. So I'm going to solve it now. So the limit as x approaches 3 of... So remember, I always want to see, can I factor it? That's going to be the easiest method. So is there something that I can factor the top and or the bottom into?
Like
Probably.
And what?
Yes.
What if so?
Plus 3x minus
Yep, x plus 3x minus 3 on top. How about the bottom?
You can take an X out. Wait, no, you can't.
Okay, give me a second. I gotta think about it. Got it. 5 and -3. Wait, well, okay. You
Yeah.
gotta make the 2 5 and -3.
X plus 5, x minus 3. So then the x minus 3's cancel. Now I can do the limit as x approaches 3 of x plus 3 over x plus 5. So if you plug in 3, you get what?
6 over 8, which reduces to 3/4.
Yep. $14. The limit as x approaches 2 of x cubed minus 2x squared plus x minus 2 over x minus 2. So what's the problem with this one? Yep.
Is that usually just what's gonna be the answer? Just this.
Most of these look like, yeah, they would be.
Like, what would be an example of another answer why it wouldn't work? Or, like, why you couldn't use direct substitution?
Well, most of the time that is why.
Makes sense.
I was looking to see. Another one would be if when you plugged it in, you had a negative under a radical.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Things that like generally would be a problem just in math
Oh, just
is what would be the
general math
case.
problems.
Yeah. All right, so solving this one, the limit as x approaches 2. So the bottom, obviously, nothing can be done to it, but any ideas about the top?
Couldn't you just like?
I might do it off to the side to see if
Could you just get rid of the x minus 2 anyways? Because it's like.
it's being added.
If it
The
was
factor
x-
first.
Do we have to take in? Well, we can't take it out.
Does factor by grouping ring a bell?
Yes. And then you
I
can
know
throw it
what
in.
you're saying, but I don't know how to. do
So
it.
I'm going to group these, and I'm going to take something out. So I'm going to take an x squared out of the first pair, which would leave me with x minus 2. In the second pair, I can just take out a 1, which leaves me with x minus 2.
Remember now.
So then this down here, when I actually put it in, would be x squared plus 1 times x minus 2.
It's just factoring, but like one less step.
Correct. It's like the end step of factoring.
Yeah.
So then x minus 2's cancel. So I have the limit as x approaches 2 of x squared plus 1, which would be what?
3. Wait. 5.
5?
5. Basic math.
That's where we struggle.
That's the hard. Yeah, that's the hardest part, really, because we're so used to all the.
A lot of times, honestly,
Yeah.
like there's, I want to say it's in the AP prep book for calculus, there's actually a statement in there that says it's the algebra that kills you.
I feel like.
Because
it
it's
is,
like you
though.
get so used to doing like the hard calculus part, which is like always the first part of the problem, and then it's like from there it's just straight algebra, and by the time you've done all that, you're like, I don't even remember how to multiply.
Yeah,
like-
right? Exactly. It's telling the truth.
Try to explain that to Kenny all the time about that's why he's better at quick math than I am, because I can do the calculus. But whatever.
I'm not very good at the speed math.
But then he's the one at his job, and his boss is like, why are you not using a calculator? He's doing everything by hand. He's like, well, I know how to do it by hand. His boss was like, you have a calculator for a reason, use it.
Yeah, like doesn't it take it longer to do some of that stuff by hand then?
Some probably,
Some of
but
it,
just, you know.
Does he work at the shipyard? What does he do?
I can tell you that in a minute.
Oh.
I can actually show you in a minute if you want to see. There's a one on Instagram of what he does, but yeah, when we're done, I'll show you. All right, the next one, use the fact that the limit as x approaches 0 of sine of x over x is equal to 1, along with limit properties to find the following limits. So 22. The limit as x approaches 0 of x plus sine of x over 2x. Any ideas about this one?
So like,
What are we doing? Is it just
can you like factor out an X on the top?
Nope.
Is that a property?
Well, sine
Sine
of
of
x
x.
over x equals 1. But doesn't it? That's 1.
One by two.
Sine of x over x.
So this kind of looks like this problem a little bit.
kind of does?
Yeah. Oh, so can
Oh, if it's under the same denominator, you can break it up.
Oh, you can
So can you break it up?
Let's try that first and see.
forgot
It's always a good place to start.
Dang, because usually you want to put things together. That's why I don't think of it.
I know. That is a terrible idea. I just completely
Okay.
messed up drawing an arrow. I don't even know how.
Literally me.
Okay. Sign it. Trying to see what I do with it. We can do something on the right side.
So before I put the limit on both, because obviously there's a property that says that when two things are being added together and I'm taking the limit, I can take the limit of each added together. But ignore this. What can I do with x over 2x?
You like take out the 2, or like divide x by 2x. I don't know.
Which would be what?
0.5x.
Wait.
How about
zero
this?
over X?
Oh.
And get left with 1/2.
Oh, there's only one.
Oh, wait.
I was almost there.
Yeah, I know what you meant. I know what you were
Yeah.
saying.
We just
Plus,
divided them.
could I also write this as 1/2 times the sine of x over x?
Yeah.
I guess.
How can you do
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's just being multiplied. This being multiplied is still sine of x over 2x.
that? Okay.
Okay.
I feel like we're really confused. 1/2 times the sine of x over x would be the sine of x over 2x, right?
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
I guess.
Okay. I'm going to write this as two separate limits now. I feel like I'm being looked like I could have 27 heads, so. The limit as x approaches 0 of 1/2 plus the limit as x approaches 0 of 1/2 sine of x over x. Now, there's another rule that we had that said if there is a constant multiple, can't remember what it was called. Go back up, what the book actually calls it. Oh, look, the constant multiple rule means I can do what?
Multiply the
Multiply.
thing by the.
By the limit.
If it was inside, I can
Put it on the
Put
put it on the outside.
I just don't. Yeah. The K and the stuff is confusing.
So the limit as x approaches 0 of 1/2 would be what?
1/2.
1/2, because there's no x. Plus 1/2 times the limit as x approaches 0 of sine of x over x. What's the sine of x over x with the limit as x approaches 0?
Sine of x over x is 1.
1.
Okay, so this goes to 1. So I'm left with 1/2 plus 1/2, which is equal to 1.
I'm gonna put in my notes. What was it?
I
The
really
constant
almost said
rule?
1.
Constant multiple rule. It was like rule number 4, maybe? Yeah, rule 4. So in that problem, we used rule 1 and rule 4.
Can you explain rule 4? Because even though
Yeah.
I wrote it, it does not make sense.
So basically, when you have, so like this, so inside the limit, we had a number, just a constant,
Yeah.
okay,
So there's
being
no-
multiplied by a function.
Yeah.
Okay, so the constant multiple rule says that I can take out that constant and then multiply it at the end because it's not going to change it if it's like, I could leave it inside and it would be fine,
Yeah.
but there's going to be problems where you're going to be more confused if you don't take it out. It makes your life easier by taking it out. Because it's kind of the same thing of what happened on this side here. The limit as x approaches 0 of 1/2. Well, there's no x, so it's not changing. It's just 1/2. But over here, by taking the 1/2 out, this was 1 times 1/2. So it just is allowed to come out front because it's not being changed by an x.
I get it.
All right, this is where you need your book. We're looking at number 28. So these say to use the given graph to find the limits or to explain why the limits do not exist. So 28 is what we're going to look at first. So it has the limit as x approaches 3 from the left of f of x. The limit as x approaches 3 from the right of f of x. And then the limit as x approaches 3 of f of x. So remember with these, if the left and the right hand ones aren't the same, it does not exist. The whole limit.
But the individual ones will still exist.
Correct.
So we're looking.
So you're looking at your graph. So what happens is x is getting close to 3 from the left side. So follow that left-hand graph, okay, over. What is the y value?
2?
Mm-hmm.
How are we supposed to look at the graph? I don't know.
So follow, you see the graph, it has like, it goes down and kind of looks like a backwards check mark.
Mm-hmm.
So you follow that graph until you get to x is equal to 3. From that side, from the left.
Oh.
And then what is y at that point?
Okay.
You see that? That makes sense. Okay. So then, from the right, so we're looking at the other graph. Okay, so the one that's on the right. See that? See what I'm talking about? Okay, so from the right, so that's the one that kind of looks like a half of a parabola. So if you get to x from the right, what does it look like y is there as you get close to 3? 4. So does the entire limit exist?
No.
Nope. Because the limit as x approach 3 from the left is not equal to the limit as x approach 3 from the right.
These are like the only ones I actually understand.
Yeah.
Okay, what part is confusing?
Like, I just don't understand, like, how you're supposed to know what
Like which one from
number it is.
Like,
Okay, so for the ones to know like which one is one from the left to the right, you just like follow it.
So you're looking, so as you're going from the left, so it's just like I'm getting whatever the graph is. A lot of times it's not a split graph. A lot of times it's a graph, but it could have a point of discontinuity. This is actually a split graph, so it's a little bit easier to see. So we follow, we're coming down from the left side. So we're always coming from this direction. So I'm following the graph until I get to x is equal to 3 from this side. And I'm saying, okay, what is y at that point? And in this case, it's 2. Okay. Then for the right one, I'm saying, okay, well, I'm coming from this direction. So I'm going to follow this graph that's coming from the right up till I get here, and then I want to know, okay, what is that value there? So y was 4 there. If they're not equal, then the whole thing doesn't exist. Does that make a little bit more sense?
So how do you know when you're looking at the graph if you're like trying to determine whether it's the x value or the y value?
Well, it's always the limit as x approaches something.
Okay.
So then you want the y is what that's equal to. So as x gets to whatever, what is y?
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
All right, let's look at another one. 30. So we have the limit as x approaches 1 from the left of f of x. We have the limit as x approaches 1 from the right of f of x. And then we have the whole limit as x approaches 1 of f of x. Alright, so what happens as x approaches 1 from the left? So that's the bottom line that's going with a negative slope. What happens as x gets close to 1 from the left side?
It's y is 1.
Y is 1. What about from the right?
3. Y is 3.
Yep, 3.
Why does that one graph look like it breaks off? Like,
What do you mean? Where there's like a dot?
oh, yeah. Like that. Why is there like a...
Because that just means at 1, the value is 2. That just means x is 1, y is 2. So then, does not exist for the same reason as I had up there.
Okay. I think those are probably...
Makes a little more sense now. All right. Well, that's good because we're going to go into some true and false questions.
Oh, come on. I wasn't
First you
prepared
make
for
us
this.
write sentences and now true and false.
All right, I'm going to write down, we're just going to go through G. We're not doing H and I.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so A is going to be and it's going to all go with the graph that's there. So I'm just going to write them all and then we can just go through them. So the limit as x approaches -1 from the right of f of x is equal to 1. The limit as x approaches 2 of f of x does not exist. The limit as x approaches 2 of f of x is equal to 2. The limit as x approaches 1 from the left of f of x is equal to 2. The limit as x approaches 1 from the right of f of x is equal to 1. The limit as x approaches 1 of f of x does not exist. And the limit as x approaches 0 from the right of f of x is equal to the limit as x approaches 0 from the left of f of x. And so we're trying to figure out what is true and what is false here.
So the first that only one.
Yeah, oh sorry, yeah, it is. Forgot the light was on, so it was.
First one is true. If I'm reading that correctly.
Okay, so as x approaches -1 from the right, so we get to,
Wait. Yeah, I said true.
is that what you're sticking with? All right,
Wait.
I want everyone to vote true or false.
32.
True.
I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I just want to know what everybody says.
Negative one.
Jake says true.
Sure, let's go with
Sure. Christian,
No opinion.
you have to have an opinion. True or false? 2 options.
Yeah, that's good.
I said
I'm gonna go against the crowd.
Can you go against the crowd?
Yeah. What did everyone else vote, by the way?
They said true.
Okay. False.
Okay, well, you should have gone with the crowd. It is true.
But society, I hate society.
honestly.
Oh, wait.
But like for that one, how do you know which one you're looking at? Because like
It's the only one that's getting to -1. Only one graph goes to -1. Yeah, only one graph goes to -1, so that's why. All right, B, the limit as x approaches 2 of f of x does not exist.
Wait.
I'm looking at the wrong graph, so I was just like, that's not,
I was looking at the wrong graph too. I was like,
it's
there's
the
nothing
bottom
on
graph.
there. Oh my goodness. Wait. Oh, now I have to like process this a different graph. Okay.
I was
Oh.
looking at the wrong graph.
It
How
does
did I
exist,
get
so
the
it's
first
false.
one
Okay, Peyton says
I
false.
think it's
right?
false. Wait.
I was looking
You
at
could-
the
I know, I keep looking at the wrong graph. I need to like cover the other, I'm gonna put my phone over. I'm covering the other one up.
Honestly, I don't know if I'm right. 'Cause
I
I know the dot
think
somewhere
it's.
is
Oh, what is going on?
What? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just trying to
Oh.
look at this.
I say true.
That doesn't exist.
So Peyton said false, Josh says true,
I said true.
Jake says true.
Because there's 2 marks.
Christian,
The other mark's
I'm
confusing me.
false.
you're going with false? Is that what you said? Okay. Nathan?
True or false?
Yeah, I don't know because there's that other dot.
I don't know.
I think it's true because of the.
True.
I ain't got no idea.
It's false.
Yay!
Why would it be false?
So if you were to look at the limit as x approaches 2 from the left, it's equal to 1. If you look at the limit as x approaches 2 from the right, it's also equal to 1. They're equal, so it does exist.
So what's that lonely dot that's not attached to anything doing?
That just says that at 2, it's equal to 2,
Oh.
basically.
Oh. So like that's not really relevant when we're doing the
Not in what we're doing currently, no. It will be one day, but not right now.
One day in the distance.
All right, how about the limit as x approaches 2 of f of x? Is it equal to 2? Or well, it says it's equal to 2. Is that true or false?
False.
I don't.
Kind of just answered that question for you when I explained the last one.
False.
It's false because it's
Oh,
equal to
this is
1.
graph again. I keep looking at the wrong graph though.
I know, I covered up the other graph because I kept looking at it. I was like, that's not the right answer for that.
Yeah, I don't know how I got the first one right because I was looking at the wrong graph.
I know. I did. Yeah, me too.
All right, the limit as x approaches 1 from the left of f of x is equal to 2.
Okay, wait. How do I read this?
So 1 from the left.
Wait, it does
I don't-
not. It does not equal 2. Wait.
No, wait, it does. Wait from the wait. No, it does not. It equals no, it's not. I was looking at the wrong thing again. Oh my gosh, I'm so done with this. Oh,
False question mark?
I think it's false.
I still don't know what I'm doing.
False.
I'm just giving up on these problems. I ain't got a clue.
Anyone else have an opinion?
What's your opinion?
The right answer.
That's good to know.
Yes.
It's probably true.
Just because we're saying
It is true.
How would be true?
I don't-
Because the top graph has, if you go from the left and you get to 1, it's equal to 2.
I think we use the
What?
circles.
Wait, what is going on?
That's
I thought
wait,
I was
There's 2 graphs that go to 1. So it's just asking if the statement is true. It's not saying it's the only true answer.
Oh, so you can use
It's
both
true.
the thing. Oh,
But if
well,
it's
that was
possible,
trying to
then
mess
it's
me up.
true.
Those dots aren't connected. Though.
All right, how about the limit as x approaches 1 from the right?
That's true.
It's true.
If it's approaching one from the right, that's true.
One from the right. Yeah.
It's equal to what? One?
Equal to
True.
one.
It's false.
It's not the only answer.
From the right, people. From the right.
I think I am looking
Right.
at the right. Aren't I?
Is equal to 1?
Why?
Yes.
No, like I'm genuinely just guessing.
But like,
I've-
it's-
no,
it's-
I
it
really
goes
think
like
it's
one
to
and
me.
then it goes also goes
False.
I'm confused why it's false.
Because the graph.
Because the graph where it would say that it's equal to 1 doesn't have anything to the right of that.
What do you? Wait,
It
what?
stops at 1. So, like, look.
What?
Oh.
We just like trace it on.
Huh?
No way, I actually do understand.
Okay, so look, this graph here, okay, coming from the right, if you were to say at 1, that would be equal to 2,
Yes.
Yeah,
right?
but we.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, but this graph here starts at 1, so there can't be anything to the right of 1.
Okay.
Oh, well, I didn't know.
Okay.
Wow, I thought it was starting.
This graph, this one that has
Yeah.
all the filled in dots, or you could say starts or stops, whatever, at 1. So there's nothing to the right of 1. Because you have to think from the right would imply like 1.000001. But there's nothing past there.
Oh, is that what
Well, why
the
does that-
closed circle means? It includes that number.
Correct.
It's
And it
circle.
stops.
Okay.
Or, I mean, obviously, if you had it at 0, it
So
goes
it's
still.
at 1, but it doesn't equal.
Here's a-
But it's at 1, but it doesn't equal 1. That doesn't.
Because it's 1 from the right. So I'm coming in this way, but there's nothing. I can't get there. There's
no
no
way
graph to
get
get
there.
me there.
Okay.
So this one is false.
That's actually better there.
So does the limit as x, or sorry, hold on. Let me rephrase. The limit as x approaches 1 of f of x does not exist.
So would you have to see if it's approaching it from the left
No,
and
it's-
the right? If it matches, that means it would be.
It's true. It doesn't exist. Because you can't get to it from the right.
There's
Doesn't
two.
they both
There's two
equal
graphs
two?
on there though.
They would both equal 2, don't they?
No.
What?
So
Just 1. Going to 1. But you can't.
if it makes you feel any better, there's not going to be true and false on your quiz.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Can't promise what's on there next year, but there's not on this one.
Left going to 1.
All right. So it's too much.
On the right.
Too much light. Okay. So for wherever it is, that one. So from the right, it's equal to 2. From the left, it's equal to 2. Top graph. So it does
Is
exist.
that one lone dot?
So each graph is separate.
Correct.
Okay. That's what was confusing me because I didn't know they were like.
If it stopped, then no. But they keep going. Like this one keeps going. So from the left, it's equal to 2. From the right, it's equal to 2. So
I'm
it does
looking at the top
exist.
one right now.
Yeah.
Alright, the last one.
All right.
0 from the right. Letter G.
It's false.
Why?
Because 0 from the right would equal 2 and 0 from the left would equal 1. Oh no, I guess.
Yes.
No, what? I'm trying to like break
I'm
them
with
apart and
Josh.
look at the top one. And if you go to the left,
My spelling hurts.
to 0, it equals 2. And if you go to the right, to 0, it equals 2.
I think it's also false. Second Josh.
Seriously, it doesn't equal?
Oh my gosh, I just realized. Did y'all realize that that bottom graph isn't connected?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Bottom graph.
What?
The
Yeah.
one with like the
Dots.
dot.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
not connected.
I didn't realize that.
What is it?
Oh my.
Wait.
You mean you
None of it, what do you
No,
mean?
because in my book it looks like they're connected, but it's not. It's not blue the whole way. It just has a line between them.
Wait,
Wait, so
what?
does that
Which
change
one?
some of our
You
answers?
like
Wait a
the
minute.
No, it
No,
doesn't.
she was looking-
But for this one it would.
Oh.
Because from the left, that was going to be equal to 1.
Mm-hmm.
This is 1. From the right, the top graph would say it's equal to 2.
Yeah.
Those are not equal, so it's false.
So are we not looking at, are we looking at one graph at a time? I mean, one of the lines at a time, or are we looking at both at a time? Because I'm
Well, hold on. Let me go back to.
It has a plus or minus. That's
Well, yeah, I'm looking like,
it doesn't have
Let me go back because now that I realize they're not connected, let me go back to D, E, and F and let's verify that those are right. Okay, so 1 from the left would be, this is just a dot here. See, that was confusing. So 1 from the left, though, is still going to be 2.
Because of that
For D?
one dot right there, right? On
Huh?
is it? So you're looking at it from the graph like going this way, right?
Yeah.
And then it's equal to 2 because.
Or wait, yeah. That one's still the same. That one's
Yeah,
not changing.
Okay.
That one is still true. 1 from the right is coming from this direction, would be equal to 2. So it's false.
yeah, because you can't go from the right on the bottom one, right?
Right, because you can't go from the right on the bottom one. That's just a
'Cause
point.
there's no line, yeah.
So then it does exist because they're the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's why it's false. So that didn't change anything. I was just trying to make sure because I realized that those graphs were connected or not connected. It's like, wait a second.
I actually am in a hate relationship with this problem. Like, there's no love.
I think that's good enough for this section. I'm going to have you try one of these just so you see it, but I'm telling you there will not be a true and false problem on your quiz or test. So your problems are going to be there's obviously more to this section, but that's sufficient to give you a background enough of this stuff that it's fine. 1, 5, 11, 17. Okay, that's fine. Did you label it?
Yeah, I put do not. If it belongs to tennis team, please do not touch.
Okay.
So I put on there. So
Okay. Thanks.
A couple drinks are missing because I took it from my mom.
Okay, that's fine. 23, 29, and 31.